I think I know just the place.
Alright, open that bad boy up. Alright, what up? We're back. And, the topic today, we're going to be talking about protein. High protein diets. And mainstream media likes to say that it's not that good for you. And you might die from doing a high protein diet.
Yeah.
But, so, this is what we want to really quickly discuss. We want to give a shout out to Lane Norton because we were first founded by this amazing news from somebody with a huge following that high protein diets are really bad for you. And they could cause bone damage, kidney damage, and liver issues is what this individual is saying.
That's the biggest, oldest myth in the book, kidney problems. If you're healthy, your body...
By the way, this is Jillian Michaels. Keep going.
Yeah. Just call them out. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, like people say, don't take too much protein. It's bad for your kidneys. Unless you have a pre-existing condition, which in that case, you have kidney problems, you shouldn't be taking too much protein because your kidneys can't handle that.
Which is the whole process of handling protein.
If you're healthy,
that's inhibited,
if you're a healthy individual, your body's made to, if you take excess protein, it'll convert it into glucose via gluconeogenesis and burn it as fuel. Either burn it off, just like you would anything else you eat, or store it as fat if you're eating too many calories. So, that's another thing. People say taking too much protein will make you fat. It won't. Taking too much of anything will make you fat. Too much carbs, too much fats. Protein's actually the least likely to be stored as fat because your body has to convert it to glucose first. It can't just be stored as fat,
And then the thing behind that, too, is it's an extra step. We're talking about semantics here that are like minute, but these extra steps require more energy burn. So this is going to thus create a yield of more calories consumed just to create that process, as small as it may be. But again, and that ties us into what we want to really get into too. And what is a high protein diet going to do for an individual realistically? Not is a high protein diet going to I went through and I probably spent like a half hour today sifting through so many different articles trying to find anything on bone degeneration with high protein diets, and it's just not there. I really couldn't find anything. I found an incredible amount of articles that were for the opposite side of the spectrum, which is common sense if you ask me. It's not common sense to the general public, but when you're somebody that goes to school for this stuff and you hear this kind of thing, it's just silly. So,
if anything, protein is going to make you stronger. Protein is what your cells are made up of.
Right.
If you're not taking enough protein in,
it is the most complex internal cell in your body. It's just a wonderful little macro. And what we want to get into real quick, and then I'm going to let Rob jump on this thermic effect. And we'll bust out that little note.
First, we should probably define high protein diets. So
right. Okay. Yeah.
Anything
exactly.
a gram per pound of body weight
would be a high. She already defined this. I don't want to misquote myself, but boot that up real quick. I'm almost positive she did the generic 0.8 grams, which is 0.8 of a gram per kilogram, which rounds out to be like 3 grams per pound of body weight. 0.3 of a gram per pound of body weight.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Crazy.
We
say high protein diet, that doesn't mean
right there 8 grams per. Yeah, so she says that the umbrage requirements of 8 grams. Let me reiterate something real quick. You wanna simply live and have a healthy body. Eat 0.3 of a gram of protein per pound per pound of body weight,
just for basic survival.
Basic survival.
Yeah.
Do you want to thrive and be optimal? This great macronutrient has to increase. You have to increase it if you want to thrive. There's no other way to do this. It's the same thing with carbs. And fats. They control hormonal balance. If you want to thrive and you want to make progress in performance, which I'm assuming every single person in the gym that's going to the gym wants to work out and get bigger, stronger, faster, or else why are you doing it? I get some people are there for social hour and they want to just meet somebody, but fine, so be it. If that's the case, well, I guess you're not really caring to watch this podcast. But the people that are going to watch this podcast want to get bigger, stronger, faster, or else they wouldn't be watching two natural professional bodybuilders talk about this, because this is what we like to do. So let's go here real quick. So high protein diets, again, gram or higher per pound.
Yeah, we're not talking about like 300 grams a day or nothing like that. I mean, it could be, but that's a little excessive.
If you're a 300-pound guy.
You're literally a 300-pound guy.
Yeah, for sure. That's a gram per pound. For me, that'd be a gram and a half, or a little under a gram and a half, because I'm 220 now, but when I'm in contest prep, that would be like a gram and a half. Yeah. But real quick, going off that, so I want to also say, like, because some people use MyFitnessPal, so you'd be like, all right, what is the percentage breakdown of this high-protein diet? She's implying like 30% of your macros from protein is high, because that's 30% is going to equate to roughly a gram per pound.
Yeah,
it's going to be real close.
A minimum. I get minimum of 30%. That's what I would consider a good diet. 30% protein. Is around average. Anything from 20 to 40% is good.
And the reason why we fluctuate like that so much, like we can go up high to 40% because we're professional bodybuilders. When we get into prep, things change. We're not the norm, but like what we're doing is incredibly healthy and it works. So we have ranges. Now, real quick, why is protein so wonderful, and why would you want to increase it up to where we're eating? Like a gram for a baseline per pound of body weight, or go upwards of a gram and a half, is probably where you would want to see like a comfortable progress range. It would be somewhere between a gram and a half. Yeah. That'd be like the window, the prime window. And anything over that, like we were saying.
Anything over that is like, you're wasting money. You're basically wasting money because your body is going to convert it into glucose.
Is it bad?
Why don't you just eat the carbs in the first place? Exactly. They're cheaper to buy. Instead of buying this stuff or chicken.
And it'd be harder to eat the protein. You're going to eat the rice a lot. You're going to digest it a lot easier.
You might fart a lot.
So this is what we're getting to real quick. All right. So when you eat protein, right? The reason why people will sit there and eat steak and chicken and be like, oh, that's really sitting on the stomach. It's tough. It's rough. I'm full. I'm sitting with me. They eat their pasta and they eat their big slab of chicken and the fettuccine. The reason why the protein has this satiation effect is because its inability to be broken down in the mouth. When protein enters the mouth, like carbs enter the mouth, the carbs get broken down by salivary amylase. Salivary amylase is a chemical bond breaker that begins to break down carbs when it's in your mouth. So that way when it gets to the stomach, it's a little bit mushy, and from there it can get digested pretty quick. Protein, on the other hand, it does not get digested orally. It has to wait until it gets to the stomach, where pepsin is involved. And that's going to start to break down the branched chain amino acids, and you're going to start to absorb the protein. Because of that, the process doesn't start until it gets into the stomach. So this is why it is going to be more of a thermic effect. Yeah. And you're going to end up burning more calories when you eat this product. Mm-hmm. So when you're eating more protein, you're going to end up promote it. Basically, by the time it gets to your stomach, it's gonna get utilized.
Your body uses energy to break it down.
Exactly. And protein is shown to have the highest thermic effect, which means it's going to yield the lowest amount of calories per consumption in a percentage base. So like a 70% of that 4 calorie per gram, because of the amount of energy required to break it up. There's many studies out there that show this kind of stuff. We could go through, we have all these. I have a huge, enormous, paper that I had to write when I was leaving college. It just has all sorts of information in it. Studies from University of Washington State. They go through, and one of the things they show is when the protein is ingested, it has this satiation effect like we talked about earlier. It's just basically where you have a hunger hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelin is suppressed when you eat protein. So when you consume a high, moderate balance of protein, you're going to end up suppressing this hunger hormone, which is going to make you less likely to graze. And grazing is a bad thing. We don't want to be grazing all day.
So long story short, a lot of people think, protein, you don't want a high protein diet if you want to lose weight. If you want to lose weight, high protein diet is the best way to do it.
It's the best. And think about thermogenesis. When we were talking about thermic effect, you sit there and you want to pair this word up. Think about this real quick. Thermic fat burners you buy from GNC. You can really get, caffeine's a whole nother story we'll get into, and a lot of these contain caffeine to help with that tremendously. But they also, you buy the fat burners or the appetite suppressants, and you can really promote a really good thermic environment where you're burning up a lot of calories via a high protein diet. The other thing with protein that we're going to get into is building muscle. And I'm going to let Rob go into this because when you build muscle, your metabolism has a correlation with this.
Exactly. Lifting weights along with a higher protein diet will help you build, or if you're dieting, maintain a higher level of muscle mass, which allows you to burn more calories at rest. Muscle mass burns more calories even just sitting around.
So we're burning more calories than the fat guy watching the video.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to be mean, but
you're burning more calories per day just at rest, and that is going to help you, obviously, in the long run.
You're a calorie burning machine with muscles. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn. It's literally like, and how do you build muscle?
Lifting weights
and protein and carbs,
fats. You have
everything.
The balance of it.
Everything.
Yep.
And the aminos promote hypertrophy. So this is the whole name of the game. And the other thing we want to get into too, and let's tie right into muscles real quick. So you got the muscle mass increasing with the protein because you're watching this video, and your ideology of even increasing your protein from where it is now is probably because you want to lose weight, you want to go to the gym, you want to build muscle, and you heard that this is a good way to build muscle is a little higher protein diet. You are correct. You have been led down a good path, not what Jillian Michaels is saying. No, you're not going to do very well going to the gym. You're not going to do as well. This is the whole name of the game. When we talk about this stuff, it's optimal. What is optimal? How do you maximize your time in the gym and your time outside of the gym?
Yep.
It's like spread, protein out evenly. The whole thing with bone health, this is what I want to get into. So with the muscle mass, when you're weightlifting and you're eating a higher protein diet and you're promoting this positive nitrogen balance inside your body, you're going to build more muscle. And when you're building more muscle, that means you're getting stronger, you're resistance training, and you're stimulating osteoclast activity. Because that's what resistance training does, which is why
bones, tendons, ligaments, joints, they all get stronger.
Everything. So why on earth would you sit there and say, no, you know what, don't eat a high protein diet. Eat minimal. Eat just for basic functional. What she's saying is just basically why even when you're working out, why would you increase your protein? You just need to eat what basic survival ratios tell you to eat, which is 0.3 grams per pound. That makes no sense. That literally makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're gonna weight train. You should still eat like you need to eat just for survival. There's no reason to eat anymore. So then why not? Why are we going to increase carbs? I'd ask her. I'd be like, okay, why stop at proteins? Mm-hmm. Like, why do anything? Why not just eat for basic survival for any of the macros? It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, I would love to see these studies by these people she's talking about where they're saying bone health is going to be negatively impacted by an increase in protein.
Yeah.
Where are our bones negatively impacted by eating 25 to 40% of our protein? What?
Yeah.
And then the thing too, a lot of people don't like to get into this, but it's not just us. We have made a lot of connections and friends in the natural bodybuilding circuit, and all these guys, they're healthy, they're fit, they're in shape. None of them are down and out, and you can even look at all the other athletes that are constantly resistance training and stuff outside of getting injured in their sport, if they do, God forbid, like a football player tearing a hammy. These people are healthy as an ox, and outside of abusing drugs, we're not aliens. Him and I are not aliens. We are not going to consume protein and have a different internal reaction to it than the rest of the population is.
True.
How could we?
When you look at a picture of us before we started lifting, just like anybody, just look like a normal person. It doesn't even lift. I was 110 pounds back when I was 18, so...
Exactly. And it's a complete 180. It's a way healthier life. And one of the ways he did this, we're not saying just forget about carbs and fats. It's all about the proteins. No. What we're saying is this is just complete horseshit to say eat 0.3 grams per pound no matter what you're trying to do. Well, if I'm just trying to survive and I had a limited amount of protein to go around because people are hoarding all the chickens, okay, I don't know. Maybe I should start to think about rationing out to 0.3 grams per pound a day.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be like the nuclear apocalypse is upon us. Okay, Jillian Michaels, you're right. In that sense, you're right. We should ration down. But when we have the supermarkets available to us, like, what are we talking about here? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's always going to be something that you like, even if you don't like chicken or you don't like fish.
Yep.
We got so many different flavors of whey protein.
Wait. And then the other thing I want to get into real quick, because who knows, like, I don't think she's this silly to say this, but I do want to get into this real quick. When people tell you the whey protein is any different than regular protein.
Oh yeah, that just kills me. Like,
how? What are we talking about here? Oh man.
Do you take? Oh, you're not natural. You take protein. Like,
right, or
it's no different than eating chicken. It's made from dairy. It's made from milk. Are you saying like, oh, if I drink milk, I'm not natural? Like it's not.
It's
natural.
A different protein.
It's a supplement. Like it's not
milk protein.
It's not real protein.
Milk protein is different than chicken protein. Apparently.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, cheese. You know, anything. Any dairy product that has protein. You know.
The other silly thing I want to address too is that protein overeating is just going to get pooped out. Like, since when does protein convert to a bolus of food and like fiber does?
Yeah,
you just shit it out.
There's like always this generic.
What are we talking about?
Just this generic recommendation of 30 grams. Don't go over 30 grams per meal, or you're just going to shit it out.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense, because is that saying that
that's cookie cutter?
Is that saying a 300-pound bodybuilder only needs 30 grams and a 120-pound female only needs 30 grams?
Yeah.
Like,
makes no sense.
A 300-pound bodybuilder is obviously going to need probably twice as much protein,
right?
As a really small female. It's totally different. And
there's no cookie cutter.
When did you eat last? If you haven't eaten in 5 hours, you can take more. You can have more protein, and your body's going to absorb it. As opposed to if you just ate 2 hours ago, your body still has amino acids in your bloodstream. You don't need as much protein,
right?
And when are you going to your next meal? If you have, you eat a big meal with 50 grams of protein, it doesn't mean you're going to shit it out. It just means your body is going to make it last longer until your next meal. So you might be able to go 5 or 6 hours until your next meal because you had that big meal with a ton of protein. Whereas if you eat a smaller meal that only has 20 or 30 grams, you might need to eat again in 3 hours because, your body's already digested it and it's gone,
yep.
So that, that myth that is just totally nonsense.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Bottom line, protein from protein powder is the same protein as protein from anywhere. It's protein. I
would say 50% of my diet is whey protein, and then I'll do, tuna, eggs, stuff like that too. But, 50% of it is whey protein. Is just personal preference. I like how it tastes. It's cheaper. You might think it's more expensive, but you don't got to buy the expensive, whey-bolic, pure isolate.
No. Exactly. This is what we're saying. People think that different protein from different protein companies are different. Yeah. It's like B&Sh's got different protein. No,
is this protein work better than that protein? No, they're both protein.
Yeah.
This is $16 at Walmart, and it works just as good as the $50 protein isolate.
This is why when I was at GNC, my sales sucked because they were like, oh man, I'll never forget this. Coming out of high school, going to GNC, and it was a great job, but they'd be like, you ain't selling GNC products. Why not? I'd be like, because they're overpriced. Here's this other product, half the price, and it's, what do you mean? I need protein powder. Why am I going to send you to do that? It doesn't make any sense. So it's yeah.
Now I love GNC. I work there too, but they've had a lot better prices now with their
sure.
But there's different price points and different products too. They do have their cheap protein, the GNC Pro Performance. It's one of my favorite ones. It's usually buy one get one half off. It's just your basic whey protein concentrate isolate blend. It's nothing fancy with enzymes and all this other shit added.
Why are you talking about that?
A lot of times, unless you're really lactose intolerant or your body, your stomach can't handle, a protein concentrate or just the basic stuff very well, you need those enzymes. Some people need something a little more pure, like the isolate or something, just for digestion. But for most people, if you can handle stuff like that, if you can drink milk, you're not lactose intolerant, just basic whey protein, does the job.
Yeah, and then this other thing with cancer and heart disease, it's linked to that. It's not. There's There's no way. Like if you're eating,
if you're getting your protein from like Big Macs and
Exactly.
fast food,
they don't comprehend the fact that like if you have like fryer food that has like chicken wings, it's all that protein.
Going to KFC, that's where you're getting your protein.
But it's all these trans fats from that oil in the fryer, and then the next thing you know, you're clogging your arteries, and this is going to lead to heart diseases. Not
lean
the protein.
Lean protein does not give you any diseases.
No, exactly. And yeah, I mean, I got to go through here and see if she's got anything else we want to discuss. I mean, longevity genes. Listen, you going back to what we said. When you get older people suffer from osteoporosis
and muscle loss.
Because in men, exactly, testosterone, estrogen. Listen here real quick. If you want to promote a healthy lifestyle over the age of 65 and live a nice lifestyle,
continue lifting weights and keep your protein high.
Yes. I was trained under a man named Bruce Loomis. Shout out to Bruce if he ever sees this video. He's the man. Rob knows him too.
Yep.
He is the most jacked and juicy 70-plus-year-old man I've ever seen in my life. And this dude is living the lifestyle. It's exactly.
I still see him once in a while over at Aspen.
Yep. Yeah. And it's just like he was a bodybuilder all the way through, long, thick, 50s all the way up, living this lifestyle, and he's completely healthy as an ox. He makes 20-year-olds at that gym look bad, and this dude is just exactly what we're describing to you here. So, and on that, the other thing I want to say too is we were both personal trainers at a gym for many, many years, and we had many different clients. We could go through, implementing. I have all sorts of documentation with clients, high protein diets. It's like, if you want to do the biggest loser and take people that are morbidly obese and just prod them like a cow to run around and sweat, of course they're going to lose a lot of weight. But take somebody that's not that obese and change their body composition tremendously.
You want to change your body composition, you can literally do it without even working out. Just increasing your protein a little bit, lowering your fats and carbs a little bit.
Exactly. People don't get this.
Just being active. You don't even have to lift weights, but ideally lifting weights is going to get you there.
And again, if you guys want to check us out, we're Natural Professional Bodybuilders on Instagram, Rob Lipke and Alistair Nash. We don't not only do we both, hold degrees from SUNY Cortland, which is a great school for exercise science and nutrition, and all things health and wellness, and it leads you in the right career paths, but we walk the walk and we talk the talk. We get on stage, we get lean, we stay strong while we're lean. As we lose weight, we know how to do it correctly. So, and we stay injury free. So there's reasons behind this. Proof's in the pudding. We're not aliens. Check us out. And on that note, Warzone.